નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી. Welcome students to second part of chapter 9, Soil of Standard 7 Science. In the last part we discussed about 9.1, the point 9.1, soil teeming with life, in which we did one activity to see that the things available in the soil, and from that we conclude that the composition, the texture, the constituents are depends from where we collect the soil. Why? Because see, if the soil is from the river bed, then the constituents, the available things in that soil must be different from the soil we take from the garden, isn't it? So that's what we conclude in the last part. Now in this part, let's go further. Before starting, just you open page number 97, because we are starting this part from page number 97. So open it, keep a sharpened pencil also with you. Now first of all, Paheli is there. What Paheli says? I wonder why I found some pieces of plastic articles and polythene bags in the soil sample. Paheli wonders that why I found some pieces of plastic articles and polythene bag in the soil sample collected from the roadside and garden. Ideally it should not be there, why? Because we should throw the plastics and everything where it is. We should throw it, we should not throw these things, plastics and polythene bags here and there, isn't it? That is why Paheli is wonder. Now the box is there. Let's read and let's try to understand that box. Polythene bags and plastics pollute the soil. Polythene bags and plastics pollute the soil. They also kill the organisms living in the soil. They also kills the organisms living in the soil. Actually what happens, see, generally they used to recycle the plastic and once again repetitively they are making the bags, polythene bags from that plastic. So again and again it becomes more harmful, more poisonous to us, for the all living things. And now if it is available in the soil also, then the organisms in the soil, they will be affected from this polythene bags. That is why there is a demand to ban the polythene bags and plastics, and that is why there is the demand to ban polythene bags and plastics. Other substances which pollute the soil are a number of waste products, chemicals and pesticides. The other things which pollute the soil, those are waste products, chemicals and pesticides. Waste products and chemicals should be treated before they are released into the soil. See, we should process the waste products and chemicals so that they gets neutralized and they do not that much harm, and for that it should be treated before they are released in the soil. The use of pesticides should be minimized. That is also true. The use of pesticides should be minimized. So that is what there in the box. Now let's go further. There is Buzo is there. What Buzo says, I have seen pots and toys made up of soil in हाट. हाट मतलब बाजार. तो बुजो ने क्या देखा, I have seen pots and toys made up of soil in हाट. See, the soil, the type of soil we will discuss later. from where we can prepare or make this type of pots and toys. Let's discuss further the point 9.2, soil profile. We'll go to discuss soil profile. Soil is composed of distinct layers. Soil is composed of distinct layers. Perform the following activity to find out how these layers are arranged. So now we are going to perform an activity, isn't it? That is activity 2. So that we will come to know the layers of the soil. Now the aim of the activity is to observe the different layers of the soil. The aim of the activity is to observe the different layers of the soil. Now first of all, let's read from the textbook. Then after we will understand this activity. So let's once again read in the textbook. Activity 9.2. Take a little soil, break the lumps with your hand to powder it. Now take a glass tumbler, 3/4 filled with water, and then add a handful of soil to it. पहला आपको क्या करना है? Take a little soil, break a clump of the soil to with your hand to powder it. Then take a glass tumbler, 3/4 of water should be in there, fill with 3/4 water, and then add a handful soil into the into that tumbler filled with water. Stir it well with a stick to dissolve the soil. Stir it well with the stick to dissolve it well. Now let it stand undisturbed for some time. Let it stand undisturbed for some time. Figure 9.2 is there. Afterwards, observe it and answer the following questions. See, here you can see this is a figure, isn't it? Now observe this figure. First of all, we will observe, then we will discuss this, then after we will discuss this activity. So let's see this figure in which at the bottom you can see gravels are there. Above to that layer of gravels we can see sand. The layer of sand is there. Above to this layer of the sand there is a clay, and above to the clay you can see there is a water, and something is floating on the water, that is humus. You will come to know what is humus, but the things floating on the water is known as humus. Now let's go further. Do you see layers of particles of different sizes in the glass tumbler? Yes, it is there. Draw a diagram showing these gravels. So there is a diagram also. Are there some dead rotting leaves on or animal remains floating on water? Just we discussed, na? Something is floating on the water. That is humus. That what we discussed. So the rotting dead matter in the soil is called humus. So what is humus? The rotting dead matter in the soil is called humus. Underline that. The rotting dead matters in the soil is called humus. Underline that. Okay. Now let's discuss this activity in which aim to observe the different layers of the soil. Procedure. Just we discuss. Let's discuss once again. Fill 3/4, that is 3/4 of the glass tumbler with water. Now dissolve a handful of soil in it. Break the clumps with hand if necessary. Then Steer the soil with the help of glass rod. Then now keep it undisturbed for some time and observe the contents of the tumbler. Okay. Now let's see. What is the observation? See, the soil separate into different layers on the basis of the size of particles. The soil separates into different layers on the basis of the particles of the soil. Gravel settles at the bottom of the tumbler. Gravel settles at the bottom of the tumbler. The sand particles settle above the gravel particles. The clay particles settles above the sand. So first of all gravel, then after sand, then above to it the clay. The humus in the soil floats on the surface of the water. Okay. So what it should be our conclusion? Do you know what is the conclusion? Say this shows that soil is made up of various type of particles. This shows that soil is made up of different type of particles. Okay, so in this one we come to know that the soil profile. We discussed about the soil profile and activity 9.2. Watch this video 2 to 3 times, and by this time we are closing this part and we'll meet you in the next part. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Take care of yourselves and we'll meet you in the next session. Thank you.